It's me or it doesn't. One thing we often do is that we dismiss scenarios that don't fit our common sense. For example, you may go into a neighborhood and nobody locks the doors. And you think, are these people out of their mind? Leaving the doors unlocked? I wouldn't do that, ever. Well, that is because you grew up in a neighborhood with high crime rates. And because it's a high crime rate, you wouldn't even dare to think about leaving the door unlocked. But in that community over there, there's almost zero crime, and if there is crime, it's out something domestic. So the climate is different. So you hearing about, well, a kidnapping, and then you hear that the doors were not locked, you think, come on, nobody is so stupid that they leave the doors unlocked. Well, look, those people there were not stupid. It's just that in their neighborhoods, crime is almost non-existent. So they had more trust leaving their doors unlocked. But of course, now that the kidnapping happened, they will likely consider locking their doors. Or you may read about Adam and Eve, how Eve didn't run away when she saw the serpent. You may think, oh, if I see a snake, I'm not going to be so infatuated. Why? Because snakes, the fall of man, killed a lot of people. And some snakes are poisonous to our bodies. So, based on all of that, you who grew up with the knowledge that snakes can be lethal, you would stay away from it. But back then, the immortality of the Holy Spirit it's kind of streamed easily through the bodies of Adam and Eve. So the serpent was not a threat. So that's why Eve was not scared of it. You understand what I'm saying here? Too often, we project our common sense onto a situation. Now, it's a human thing. A lot of us do it. Nevertheless, we need to watch out with this. Why? Because not everyone has the same background as us. For example, you may be a car mechanic. And because you have so much knowledge of cars, when you watch a crime documentary and one of the suspects said, well, I only had 20% gas in my car, but I was able to make it to the hospital anyway. And you're thinking, what? He drove 15 kilometers with only 20% gas in his car? Ooh, hold on a minute, this is impossible. Now, other people look at the crime documentary and they think, oh, he has an alibi. But you have knowledge of cars, you think, no, this can't be true. So, what I mean is, what's common sense to you may not be common sense for someone else. And here's another thing. Even if your common sense is factual, so it's not just subjective, but it's actually factual, you need to consider not everyone out there embraces facts. For a lot of people, feelings are facts. Let me repeat that onto you. Let me repeat this onto you. To a lot of people out there, feelings are facts. Let's say you say hi to them today. They say, oh, hi. They greet you back and they're happy. 10 days later, there's some bad news. Either there's a divorce or delayed paycheck, whatever. Now they feel bad. And now, because they don't want to deal with a bad situation, they seek to project how bad they feel on someone else. So now they remember how you said hi to them. And now they complain saying, oh, he was quite rude. He said hi to me instead of good morning. We told him to greet me in such an informal way. And he had a very loud voice when he said hi. Now they begin to imagine blame about you saying hi. Now they feel completely different about you saying hi to them. Now they're upset. Now they don't like you. Hold on. Did a crime happen? Did a crime happen? Did you hurt them? Objectively, did you damage them or whatever? No. It's just that they feel different now and they see things through their feelings. So to them, that's factual. Let's say someone cussed you out and screamed at you because they were upset. And later there are people call them out on it. They may say, oh, I was upset back then, or you were a bit annoying. They'll try to either diminish what they've done or try to blame it on you. Because in their mind, in their mind, back then they were upset, they couldn't think straight, so it doesn't matter. Now they think straight, so now because they feel situated now, it has a different meaning. Now for most human beings who actually consider common sense and facts, we will never entertain the idea that things are only real based on how we feel. But there are people out there, for them, feelings are facts. When you're dealing with people like that, they are extremely unstable and they can turn on you anytime based on how they feel about something they don't want to face. And when you're dealing with such people, no scenario should be ruled out. I'm talking about, of course you can rule a scenario out if there's scientific or forensic proof that the scenario is not possible. But if there is no forensic or scientific proof to rule something out, consider the scenario. For example, there was this teenage girl that was murdered. The police began to suspect her best friends. The mother of the murdered victim thought, no, the police tried to set people up. She turned on the police. She began to fight for those teenage friends of her deceased daughter. Later, proof showed that they did it, and they even confessed that they killed her because they were upset with her getting all that attention. Now, from the point of view of that mother, there was no way the best friends of her daughter would do something like that to her. But she perceived the situation from a common sense, healthy mindset. But the murderers of her daughter were not operating in a common sense, healthy mindset. Their minds were darkened. They just want to escape. And in their dark minds, the daughter of that woman, their so-called best friend, was a threat to their self-worth. So what did they do? They took it out on her. They felt threatened by this best friend of theirs getting a lot of attention. So they exploded on her. They killed her. Well, again, to them, feelings are facts. They feel a certain way, so it must be that way. With such people, there's no such thing as reasoning. There's no such thing as negotiating. They feel a certain way. They will insist on feeling that way. If you try to convince them that the way they feel is not correct or it doesn't add up, they'll turn on you. They just want to be pampered with sympathy, or they want to be enabled and not challenged at all. If you challenge them, they may turn on you because they feel upset or hurt. And such people, they don't let go. They'll develop grudges. They will hold on till the day they die. Why am I recording this video? Listen, you have to consider that when you're dealing with unstable, narcissistic people, that any scenario may be true. You have common sense. You avoid the danger. You are at your right mind. That doesn't mean that they are. The same way you can't imagine how someone could smoke 50 cigarettes a day because you're not a smoker. Well, in the same way, you cannot relate to the dark mind of someone who's so far gone. Because let me tell you, when someone's mind is so far gone, they are a risk to their own safety and the safety of others. And the creepy thing is, many such people out there go undetected. Why do they go undetected? Because most people lack discernment. That's why. So if you detect an individual like this, and you try to call it out, you may look like the bad guy or the bad girl. First of all, the public does want to face things in general. So understand this. Understand this. When you're dealing with unstable narcissistic people, they don't even have to be full out narcissists. The fact they're narcissistic and unstable already means that whenever they feel endangered, to them it's a fact, and they'll act out. And look at this. When they don't like you or when they feel bad towards you, it's your fault. You're the one that made them feel bad towards you. So in their mind, they feel a certain way about you, so it must be factual. They don't like you or they have issue with you, so there must be something wrong with you. So if they treat you a certain way, you must deserve it. Because God forbid they have to look into a mirror and face themselves. No, they externalize everything. And such people, if they act out against you by ignoring you, or telling to your face they don't like you, or scream at you, or try to publicly humiliate you, or try to bad mouth you towards other people, let's say do all of that to you, and you process it in a proper way, and you continue with life as if they never existed, they're going to feel humiliated that you just shook off their vitals like that. They're going to be offended and humiliated that you just moved on and you were not affected at all by them being upset. And it gets worse. Let's say you just move on. You shake off their anger and their resentment, and you prosper and you're far better off in life than they are. They're left behind miserable and upset. So anytime they wake up and remember that you're somewhere on the earth being happy and moving on, and they're the ones left behind who are being upset with you, they're going to feel victimized as if you're doing it to them. They think that you owe them victimhood, or you owe them to be worse off than them so they can feel better. That's how self-obsessed those people are. So, when you move on, or worse, when they block you, when they unfriend you, when they leave you, and you're better off, and they're the ones left behind with their darkness, they are going to blame you. Because who are you? How dare you to be better off than them and make them feel bad? Some will pretend to reconcile with you, or some will pretend to suddenly become born again. They'll go extremely far just to make sure you are either dead, or if they can't kill you, you are worse off than them. And if they can't get to you, then they'll try to make life hard on you from a distance. One way they do that is by causing trauma around them. So that's all about them. Some may even begin to attack their own spouse or their own children. They may even cause domestic violence in their own house. Why? Because if they cause domestic violence, there's drama, and who is at the center of the drama? They are, as a perpetrator. And by doing that, attention is taken away from you. It can be just over your new shop. Now, they don't dare to go to your shop and break the windows or cause arson because of security cameras. So, in their desperation, they feel like their self-worth is gone because of you. Now, they may end up beating their wife at home, or they may end up screaming at their children. They cause drama. And they cause destruction in their own house, amongst their own relatives. The police has to come and all of that. And guess what? They get narcissistic supply by being the bad guy or the bad girl. And the whole community is shocked by the whole drama. And because the public is shocked by the whole drama, they'll be talking about the drama, and guess what? Less people pay attention to your new shop that's just opened. So they succeeded in their mind by hindering you and your prosperity. They don't care about the fact that they may have to go to jail or to prison, or they just hurt someone that relied on them, for example, their children, or they may have harmed their loved ones. Remember, they're far gone in darkness. Anything to make you worse off than them or anything to hinder you, it's good. Even if it means having collateral damage to everyone around them. So, maybe a child was molested and people catch the perpetrator and now they want to know why. And the guy says, well, I couldn't stand that my coworker got a raise at work and that people were praising him for it. And you are there thinking, hold on a minute, what does your coworker getting a raise has to do with you molesting a child? Let me explain to you. People like this, they want to feel in control. They want to play God. That coworker getting a raise, that's something they couldn't stop. They can't tell the employer, take away the raise because I don't like it. If they do harm to the individual who got a promotion, they're going to be a suspect. So they want a victim that's fully in their grip. And what's an easier victim than someone who can't fight back? Well, you get it. So this individual went outside, saw some children, and thought, oh, if a child is neglected, it means people don't care about the child anyway, it means I can do my thing. That's the dark thinking they have. Now, am I saying that everyone out there who has this feelings or facts mentality, that all of them will become child molesters? No. I'm just saying that your common sense and realistic outlook on life is good. But not everyone operates like this. Some people are simply dark and defective on the inside. And that's how they will act. And their mind acts like this. It's all about their escape, so they're not challenged. I mean it. Some people will hurt their own children and their own spouse. They will even cause harm to their own neighborhood, just to make sure attention goes away from something good that's happening to someone else. So let's say now that someone attacked you out of the blue, and you try to figure out, what did I do? Why did this happen? You approach the situation with logic and common sense. You look at proof, you look at evidence, which is proper. What you fail to realize is you're dealing with someone who's close to reprobation, or they're already other reprobate. It likely had nothing to do with you. You were collateral damage. Because of something they don't want to face about themselves, that they want to take out on someone, and because they couldn't take it out on the one they want to take it out upon, they explode on you who was available. Do not dismiss any scenario when it comes to people who are bordering reprobation. Do not. Anyway, thanks for being here. Keep on agreeing with Christ, be at peace, and I'll see you next live stream.